Does Google have to sell Chrome? What will happen next? Recently, the U.S. Department of Justice has proposed that Google should be forced to sell its Chrome web browser. This proposal has sent shockwaves through the tech industry, as Chrome is the most popular web browser in the world. If Google is forced to sell Chrome, it could have a major impact on the company's business. This proposal aims to address concerns about Google's dominance over the search market, as Chrome is the most widely used web browser, serving as a critical access point to the internet for many users. The Department of Justice's stance highlights fears that Google's control over Chrome may reinforce its search engine monopoly. For example, a journalist for The Guardian, Dan Milmo, reported, the U.S. Department of Justice has proposed a far-reaching overhaul of Google's structure and business practices, including the sale of its Chrome browser, in a bid to end its monopoly on internet search. If Google were to sell Chrome, it could lead to significant changes in the company's structure and operations. Chrome's integration with other Google services could be disruptive, potentially impacting user experience and the ecosystem of products that benefit from synchronized data and functionality. Plus, selling Chrome could diminish Google's market influence and revenue tied to advertising and data collection through the browser. Chrome's importance lies in its vast user base and its role as a gateway to the web, significantly influencing how users access content and services online. It has fostered innovations like seamless integration with Google services, security features, and a robust extension ecosystem, making it a key player in the tech landscape. The question at hand is whether selling Chrome would actually benefit end users in any meaningful way. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt made a compelling argument when he stated that breaking up large tech companies like Google would not fundamentally resolve the frustrations that users experience with them. This statement was made in the context of the news that the Justice Department might push a judge to compel Google to sell its Chrome browser, and Schmidt's observation holds significant weight. While breaking up Google could potentially create opportunities for other tech firms, it is unlikely to bring about any real change for everyday users like you and me. The reasoning behind this is not particularly complex. It requires only a brief examination of which companies might be both interested and financially capable of purchasing Chrome from Google. For instance, do you really believe that tech titans like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk would handle your data with any greater care or respect than Google currently does? Would either of these individuals somehow improve the online experience if they were to acquire the world's most widely used browser? Google offers a free search service, generating revenue primarily through targeted advertising and features that encourage online commerce. This business model is tightly woven into the fabric of how Google operates, and any significant alteration to it could have far-reaching consequences. Syracuse University advertising professor Beth Egan pointed out that selling Chrome would significantly disrupt Google's existing business model, which relies heavily on the data and insights collected through its browser. Since its launch in 2008, Chrome has come to dominate the browser market, leaving competitors like Microsoft's Edge and Apple's Safari far behind. Egan expressed her belief that if Google were forced to divest Chrome, the company would find a way to adapt and recover from the loss. I don't think divesting the browser is going to kill Google as a company, Egan remarked, but she cautioned that it could be the users who end up facing the consequences, especially considering the arguments Google has been making in blog posts regarding this matter. According to estimates from Bloomberg analysts, Chrome, which boasts over 3 billion users globally, could fetch at least $15 billion in a sale. However, due to the lack of historical precedents, accurately predicting how much Chrome would actually sell for is a challenging task. For example, a Chinese investment group acquired an internet browser from Opera Software ASA in Norway for $600 million back in 2016, but that browser only had around 350 million users at that time. Evelyn Mitchell-Wolfe, a senior analyst and marketer, pointed out that there are very few potential buyers for Chrome. She noted, "It's likely that any company with deep enough pockets to afford Chrome is already under antitrust scrutiny. If one were to speculate," she suggested that US-based artificial intelligence companies might be the most likely candidates to consider purchasing Chrome. However, the prospect of a company like OpenAI acquiring Chrome would undoubtedly raise antitrust concerns. Yet the US government might view such a move as a way to bolster national innovation on the global stage. Elon Musk's AI startup could also emerge as a contender for Chrome, given Musk's substantial wealth and his close ties to the incoming Trump administration, which could facilitate the approval of such a deal. Analysts generally agree that regardless of who owns Chrome, users will likely continue to utilize the browser, provided Mitchell-Wolff noted, "This assumes Chrome retains its most popular features and continues innovating, emphasizing that user habits are primarily driven by convenience, followed closely by trust and past experiences." The argument put forth by the Justice Department that users rely on Chrome solely because it is the default search engine on many devices misses the mark, according to analysts. Many experts are skeptical that Judge Mehta will fully endorse all the remedies proposed by the Justice Department in this case. CFRA analyst Angelo Zeno labeled these measures as extreme and unlikely to be imposed by the court. Furthermore, the incoming Trump administration adds an unpredictable element to the situation, raising questions about whether justice officials will continue to pursue the idea of breaking up Google. In October, Trump expressed his opposition to dismantling Google, arguing that such a move would not be in the best interest of the United States on the international stage. He claimed China is afraid of Google, suggesting that a breakup would ultimately harm the company. At the same time, Trump has also accused Google of being biased against conservatives, further complicating the political landscape surrounding this issue. In my view, it seems unlikely that a sale will happen. After Google exhausts every possible appeal and attempts every conceivable strategy to avoid such a fate, the company will still have numerous challenges to contend with. However, selling Chrome, cloud platform, or any of its other significant products is unlikely to be among them. Even if divesting Chrome could potentially benefit consumers, it would depend on finding a buyer capable of navigating the same regulatory scrutiny Google currently faces. None of the potential buyers seem equipped to handle this, and frankly, none of them should be. The reality is that all major tech companies have questionable practices, and firms like Meta are just as problematic as Apple, which is no better than Microsoft. Without a viable buyer, the only alternative would be to force Google to shut down Chrome entirely, which would be an unthinkable and decidedly un-American action. Such a move is simply not feasible. Let's be clear. While you may believe that tech CEOs are valiantly battling against the government, the truth is that many of them are likely congratulating President-elect Trump behind the scenes. The public posturing and feel-good social media messages serve only to distract us from the reality of their financial contributions and the relationships they maintain. In an ideal world, eliminating Chrome could pave the way for a new company with no ties to advertising or operating systems to take the lead, allowing us all to use alternatives like Firefox and receive better treatment. However, in the real world, Firefox is destined to languish without the financial support that Google provides, while Chrome will continue to thrive, consuming as much user data as possible to manipulate and monetize individuals, regardless of who holds the reins. I believe that compelling Google to withdraw its investments in Chrome would ultimately harm consumers. Google invests substantial time and resources into maintaining Chrome's open code base, which is the foundation for nearly every web browser, because it sees significant returns from these investments. Chrome serves as a gateway to valuable data, and data is essential for effective advertising. This situation parallels the dynamics of Android. For Google, funding a free product is essentially an investment in its advertising revenue. Other companies are unlikely to match this level of investment, and lesser-known names like Opera, Brave, Samsung Internet Browser, and even Microsoft Edge will inevitably suffer as a result. The primary reason people choose to use Chrome is its seamless integration with Google's suite of products. Users don't opt for Chrome because they are seeking a fast, resource-efficient browser that respects their privacy. They choose it because it works effortlessly with other Google services like Gmail, Google Docs, and Google Pay. This level of integration is something that every other tech company aspires to achieve, and only Apple comes close for users who are solely within the ecosystem. Whether we like it or not, Google has established itself as the dominant player on the web. In short, making Google sell Chrome could have major effects on both Google and its users. Google contends that separating Chrome from its other services would negatively impact consumers and businesses by disrupting the seamless integration that users currently enjoy. This disruption could result in a decline in market share and hinder innovation in the browser. Given that Chrome plays a vital role in how people navigate the internet, its significance is immense. If the separation happens, Chrome could struggle to maintain its competitive advantage, and Google enable other companies to increase their profits. For consumers, nothing will. What are your thoughts about the issue? Feel free to share your views in the comments. This wraps up today's video. See you in the next video.